I only caught Durando as he was falling at the tape. What I did then, I would do again under similar circumstances.
The 1908 Olympics and the Franco-British exhibition had now run their course, but for King Edward, the Games had ended on a note too bitter to merit celebration.
The King would not give the prizes as had been planned, nor participate in the closure of the Games.
The Americans had won the marathon through their protests, but such was Pietri's popularity with the crowd that Queen Alexandra rewarded his effort with a specially made gold-plated cup, winning him a place in history.
When I was called to Her Majesty, I was trembling all over. I felt as if I should fall, just as I did the day before. Then she spoke to me, very kindly. Bravo was the only word I could understand, but I knew what she meant by her smile. I tried to thank her in Italian, but I could not. I wept. That cup is balm to my soul. I shall treasure it to the end of my life. I will never forget the good sporting qualities of the English nation.
Durando Pietri, after 26 miles, 385 yards, made the word marathon into the equivalent of a drama. It was a drama, and nobody'd seen that in the sporting arena before. And so the world, the Queen got involved, the newspapers got involved, the nations got involved, the controversies raged and raged, and this all propelled this tiny Italian to become the first ever international sports superstar because of all the publicity. Everybody loved him. Irving Berlin wrote his first hit song entitled Durando about this little Italian.
Durando, Durando, he run like anything. 1 to 100 times around the ring. I cry, please, Anunga, stop.
Pietri achieved such acclaim that even a road in London was named after him.
I am not the marathon winner. Instead, as the English say, I am one who won and lost victory.
This was also Johnny Hayes' moment of triumph. Newspapers reported that when he returned to New York, Bloomingdale's was decorated in his honour, and that he was promoted from assistant to a managerial position. Pietri and Hayes went on to become professional athletes, racing each other first at New York's Madison Square Gardens and then all across America. But the feud between the two empires would go on.
There was a whole lot more that happened in the Olympic Games which is not covered in my annual report. When that was written some months after the Games, it seemed as though we'd proven our case, that the Englishmen in charge of the Games were ashamed of themselves. We're satisfied that the American sport-loving public could be forgiving even after such dreadful treatment, and that peace clouds might cover the past. But instead they persist in contradiction, even to the extent of calling us liars, which seems to be the last resort from them when in a hole.
When Sullivan returned to New York, he wasn't prepared to bury the fallout with the British. At New York City Hall, he paraded a lion in chains and on a leash to mock the nation who had held the Games.
Our athletes came to England in face of every sort of opposition, fair or unfair, that the English officials could devise. If we had taken meekly anything that they tried to do, we would have lost. We had to fight for our rights, rights that any real sport-loving country would have insisted on seeing given to a visiting athletic team.
It was only through Italy's withdrawal from hosting the Games that the Olympics had come to London. But rivalry, cheating and nationalism had interfered with the Games. Yet this antagonism also served to reinforce the Olympics as an international event.
These were the first Games with internationally entered teams. The teams were entering by countries, not as individuals.
In terms of media and commercial presence, it was far more modern than any of the previous Olympics.
In the core of the Olympics, the whole sense of a world-class competition was established for the first time.
The nationalism came in, the publicity came in, the dramas came in, and the Games themselves actually were breathed life into, and the Games became something which will last forever.
The International Olympics Committee went on to spearhead a rewriting of the rules and to establish a board of international judges. Had it not been for London 1908, the Olympic Games might not have survived. London had paved the way for the Olympics to become the most significant peace-building movement in history.
The abiding memory of the Games, for those who took part in them, will be the feeling of international good fellowship arising from friendly athletic rivalry.
A service for the athletes at St Paul's Cathedral would inspire de Coubertin's Olympic motto.
The most important thing is the struggle, not the winning. Most important is to be a good loser. The games themselves are better than the race and the prize.
Tomorrow evening, we've 2 Olympic-flavoured programmes for you. Back to 1948 for a very British Olympics at 9, after BBC4 examines the story behind the Black Power salute at the 1968 Games in Mexico City. That's tomorrow at 8. Back to our Britcop season tonight, though, with 2 classic episodes of Dixon of Dock Green. Next.